Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's upload, I've got a few things to talk about, including a few investments that I would recommend, and a few of my favorite cards from the current promo, and what I did today. So let's begin with the transfer list as usual. So I got, okay, something big just sold. Okay, it's Rio Ferdinand. Okay, so I got this Cannavaro at 1.8 mil. I managed to flip him at 1.949, which means around 80k profit. Yesterday I picked up a Didier Drogba during lightning rounds at at 2.55, which was basically a snipe as I was looking at his card to see if I could get an undercut. I sold them at 2834, which is massive profit. I do think this is somewhere around the neighborhood of around 160k profit after tax. So I'm happy with that flip as well. It does compensate for a few losses that I've taken that I'll show you guys. I also picked up a Nedved at 2 mil flat, but right before lightning rounds, about an hour before or 2 hours before, I just went ahead and took the coins at break even because I did think that he would drop further more during lightning round, so I didn't want to take the risk. I just sold this Ferdinand as I opened a transfer list, and this was also bought, I shared in yesterday's upload, at 2 mil flat, so this is around 10k profit, which is nothing big, but once again I wanted to try him in my team, and I did like him as well, but same issue, you can't pair him with Virgil van Dijk because of the medium work rates. I also got very lucky. Somebody bid it on my De Bruyne yesterday night. I did buy this at 925. Yesterday he dropped all the way down to 850, and I got very lucky as somebody bid on him late last night at 985, which ended up giving me around 15-20k profit after tax, which I'm grateful for it because at that time I was just lazy listing him, thinking that I'd make a major loss. Mo Salah 1297, I took advantage. I wasn't listing him because every single time I would list him, somebody would undercut me. So what I did there was that I was watching his price, and as soon as I saw that small window where there was less listings, I went ahead and listed mine at 1297. I got the sale done, which gave me around, I bought him at 1178, which means this should be around 50 or 60k if I'm not mistaken, in terms of profit. So I'm happy with that. At the moment he's back down below 1.2 mil, so that was a good sale as well. I got out on De Bruyne, whom I had bought before he was selected into the team of the week. I bought him as a rewards day flip, and I paid 405 for him, and I just took a tax loss here, so I'm cool with that as well. I sold my last to Kyle Walker at 343. I had two of them bought at 290. One sold yesterday and one sold today at 343. So this is pretty good. It's around 30k profit after tax. So once again, that is pretty good as well. I had around 7 or 8 of him. I had 2 left, bought at 18 and a half. So that's some good profit there as well. I took the loss on Diaby. I kept only 3. Those 2 lazy sold, which was a profit of around 6 or 7k because I had bought them at around 50 up to 55, and the rest all sold at 46 and a half. I took around 80k loss on him. He did drop because of Kingsley Coman, who just keeps getting packed, and because his price is going lower, so a lot of people rather use Coman instead of Diaby, which once again I do think Diaby is a better player than Coman, but that's just my opinion. I had 1 click left. I sold him at 30k. I had bought him at 15, so that's some good profit, 100% on him. All the Bensabainis that were left in my club, I sold them. All of them were bought for 11 up to 11 and a half. So that's a major profit there. I had 1 Stengs left as well, which sold at 26. I sold around 25 of him at 20 up to 22. So this one was the last one at 26, was very good. I had a few Monreal as well. I had around 5 of him, which were bought at 12 and a half. I just kept 1. I had to clear the rest because I needed transferless space. So here we go, 32k. That's around triple of the price that I paid for him. So that is pretty good as well. Fernando, all of them were bought at min price. I had around four of him, which were all bought at 10.5. So at 20K, it's pretty good profit. Voland, all of them bought between 12.5 up to 14. So I managed to get the sales on him at 18 up to 18.5. Two Sydneys here, lazy sold. I still have around 5 or 6 of him left. Barclay also lazy sold. So I'm just going to clear those trades right here. Now I do have another Cannavaro which I have listed. This is a Koulibaly from yesterday. I picked up around 3 or 4 Lucas Moura at 137K. Even this Cannavaro was bought at 1.8, so I am trying to flip this one as well. So I bought around 4 Lucas Moura at 137. I got a few at 135, which I do expect his price to at least be around 160K after he goes out of packs for next week rewards day flip. So I would expect his price to at least go up by 25 or 30K. So I'm trying to look for that. Here are the rest of the Sydneys. Now I did buy another De Bruyne right here at 860K, which once again I do think he's very, very undervalued at the moment. I still have the 94, which I bought for the rewards day flip without knowing that he would be in the team of the week. So this one was bought at 745. I'm just trying to lazy list him at the moment. At the end, I'll most probably just take a bit of a loss on him. Benedetto's, I've got a few of him left as well. A few more Sydneys here. Kolasinac has been rising very well. If you guys bought him last week with me at around 13 up to maybe 13.5, at the moment he's around 15. You can most probably just lazy sell him at 16. So there's that as well. A few more Benedettos. Here's another Lucas Moura. I do have one in my club as well. Here's another Cannavaro, which this one I paid 1797 with a shadow. At the moment, he should be selling around 1.94, so I do expect a sale here. I bought a Virgil van Dijk at 3.7 to play him in my team. I played with him 14 games. I was very, very happy. But once again, I do think Team of the Years have been nerfed. I don't know why, but for some reason, this Van Dijk played exactly like my UCL Van Dijk. I didn't feel that much of a difference, so I went ahead and listed him. Well, at the moment, he's kind of getting high, but always when you check that 59th minute, somebody just comes in and undercuts by 200-300K, so we can see right here. So I'm going to let them sell theirs first, and I'm going to wait and get my price because I do know I'll be able to get that price at some point very soon. Now, I did buy also a Nedved during today's lightning rounds at 2035. And the reason why I paid that extra 25K, because I could have gotten him at 2 mil flat. I did see a few of them, but this one is fresh. And there's always added value on a fresh player, especially an icon, a popular icon. So I'm going to try and get my price here. If this sale happens, then this is going to be some major profit, around 100K. So I'll be happy with that as well. I'm just going to keep this Cannavaro in my club for now because I do have one that is currently listed. What sold? Okay, Molet sold at 18,750. This one was also bought at 12.5. So the informs, guys, informs have been paying a ton. I've made so much coins with informs. This is why I just keep repeating to you guys to invest in informs. And I did it today during lightning rounds where I picked up 48 informs. Now I wanted to share this with you guys. I picked up a bunch of Debuccis right here. The guy whom I feel has the most upside when it comes to SBC solutions for informs, Shar. He's from the Prem, which is a massive advantage. But once again, if you guys look at informs, just look at the cheapest informs on Footbin and then have a look at the cheapest center back informs. Center backs tend to rise an absolute ton. Most of them go extinct a few months later, but this Shar I do expect very easily to be somewhere around 20 up to maybe even 25K within the next 2 weeks. Do remember, during this promo, EA has said that they will release foot favorite SBCs in terms of flashbacks from the previous years. So with all those SBCs that we should expect, I do think Shar will be a go-to guy once he goes out of packs. So I did invest in a ton of him and Mason Mount as well, but majority into Shar. As you guys can see here, I've got Mount and Shar, but majority Shar. Picked up a few more Debuccis here because once again, a right back. If you guys look at the graph of what happened to Kenny Lala's inform, which was also an 82 rated. Now Rafa, the only reason why I'm going strong on him, I do have a few more which will come later on, but I'm planning to buy a few more as well. I'm just waiting for any sort of pack supply, whether it's squad battles tomorrow or during the week if EA decides to give pack supply. At that time I'll try and get a few more. But if you guys want to compare Rafa, then just have a look at Quaresma. Last week he was into the team of the week, left mid, 84 rated, Portuguese links. I do think Rafa has better links, being from the Liga NOS. He's strong links to Pepe, which once again is very very important in terms of chemistry, because chemistry is always important when it comes to SBC solutions. Reina, I was expecting him to drop around the 12.5 up to maybe 13k max. He wasn't going down. People were bidding him. And at the end, I just went ahead and picked up a few at 15k because I do think the links he offers are just insane, being from the Prem, being Spanish, being 84 rated. But once again, I did not want to buy a lot because goalkeepers tend to be the cheapest. If you look at any inform 2 months out, or maybe just have a look, maybe 3 weeks out of the whole team of the week, the cheapest will be the goalkeepers. No matter what links they are, goalkeepers just are always cheaper than any other positions. Here's a few more Shars. I am going to try and pick up a few more as well. I want to get loaded with Shars. Here's a few more Rafas at 14.5. Now, during lightning rounds, I was looking at this Cannavaro at 1.8 once again, but he was getting bid, so I'm just going to clear that as well. I bought, I think I did share with you guys yesterday that I bought this Cancelo at 250. He's currently very low, but that's okay. I'm happy with my Cancelo. He's been playing lights out at the moment. João Felix, I bought at 1450. Now, if you guys have been watching my videos for a while now, then you do know when this card came out, I first bought him at, I think it was around 2.6 mil, if I'm not mistaken, when he first came out. And I just hated the card. I thought that this card was just not good. His weak foot, nothing was feeling good about it. But currently, I tried him once more. He's been playing really, really well for me. At the cam position, he's just insane. So, in terms of the current promo, I wanted to show you guys a few cards that I would be targeting anytime starting tomorrow up to maybe Wednesday. Now, I do know those cards will be packable during Weekend League rewards, but I may not wait for the Weekend League rewards. And the reason being is that during the last few promos, I do think a lot of people have an agenda of buying promo cards during Weekend League rewards. And once again, the last two or three promos, whenever I waited for the Weekend League rewards, I ended up paying more for the cards, or I just didn't buy them. This is the reason why I did not invest into shapeshifters as well, because I waited too long and it just never happened, because they just rose a lot during Weekend League rewards. So this is one of my favorite investment when it comes to Cancelo. I do think Cancelo is very, very buyable. And once again, I do think this card will rise a ton once it's out of packs. The links it offers, Portuguese, from the Prem, from Man City as well, which does a strong link center back Walker. And especially since Walker got that center back card, this card just became that much more valuable in my opinion. So this is one of my favorite cards. Another card which I'm very interested on is gonna be Korea. I do think Korea, if you guys have ever played with the Serie A squad, which happened a lot of times to me because I do have CR7 untradeable. This is a very underrated card. At the moment, he's very cheap. If you look at his stats, high, medium. And what I really, really like about this card is that not only is he from the Serie A, he has Argentinian links. Now, if we look at the last promo, which was the CONMEBOL promo, a lot of Argentinian players were in the team, right? So Tevez, there's Aguero from the Prem, there's Lionel Messi at the right wing. So I do think this is a very underrated card, and this card will rise a ton once it's out of packs. In terms of the big cards, I'm not a fan of Sissoko. I'm not a fan of Hazard. I do think Hazard will drop at some point. Now, I may be wrong about that, but I'm just not feeling this card at the moment because the only reason being is that a lot of people completed the moments, right? Now, as soon as people complete the moments, you will just never think about buying this card, and this is where I do think this card after weekend league expires, a lot of people will sell. And now here is another player which I'm very interested when it comes to the current promo, and that guy would be Lucas Hernandez. Once again, you guys may think that I'm a bit crazy saying this because we got so many SBCs from the center backs from the Bundesliga. But the reason being is that, first of all, he's French. Second of all, he's strong links to Boateng, strong links to Neuer. So I do think a lot of people that missed out on the Zakaria SBC, they may go ahead and use Hernandez as a strong link to Boateng and Neuer. And being French, he gives you a ton of options, whether it's for left backs or right backs. And you do have very good right backs, French, which is maybe Kenny Lala, and left back, there's also this new Amavi guy which just came out, which I do think is a very, very good SBC, but I'll talk about this at the end. Another player which I'll be interested, and now all those players will be players that I will also invest in. This is why I'm sharing it with you guys. It's going to be Lozano. Lozano fits the meta this year. 98 agility, 82 balance, very good stam. Once again, from the Serie A, I do think Serie A, you just can't go wrong at the moment with the Serie A because there's so much potential in the Serie A, but the reason being is that always you lack players on the wing. And this really much sorts it out because a lot of people at the moment, if you want to use Serie A, then you will use Cristiano Ronaldo on the right wing, or else you will use Politano on the right wing. Now you do have that meta player who can play on the right wing. And the last investment, now Guerrero is another very cheap one, but I will not touch this card. And the reason being is that the Bundesliga is just very complicated. And I do think if you have a Bundesliga squad, you'll just go for a central squad, maybe something like a 4-1-2-1-2. And the last card which I'll speak about will be Gene. And the reason being is that if you guys look at Kondogbia, what happened to Kondogbia once he went out of packs, and this may be the same kind of situation where Gene has very, very good stats. In my opinion, he has very good stats. He has medium-high work rates, 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot. But for me, the weak foot does not matter if it's a center back because you never just shoot with a center back. Maybe it happens once every 100 games. But he has very good dribbling stats, except for the dribbling, but the agility, the balance, the reaction, the ball control, the composure, everything is really good. He has 84 strength and 93 aggression, which is and 84 jumping, which is what most of the people look at in terms of stats, because the defending stats can be boosted with the chem style. But if you want to apply a shadow on him to make him a pacey center back, then it won't give you physicals, right? So if the physicals are already very good, so you can just apply a shadow on him. He has very good short passing. Long passing is kind of irrelevant to me when it comes to a center back. But I do think this is another card that may rise. In terms of the expensive cards, the only card except Mbappe and Rashford and Saint Maximin, which will most probably rise, the only other expensive card that I am really, really interested in, I do think this card will rise a ton. It would be Antoine Griezmann. And the reason being is that now you can use him to strong link Messi. You can use him to soft link to so many French players. And these stats are just insane. High. He would basically be the perfect cam in your team. Now, I am a Barcelona fan, but no bias there. I am a very big Griezmann fan as well. But those stats, whether you like Griezmann or you don't like Griezmann, you will like those stats. Those stats are really, really good. And I do think once he goes out of packs, it would not surprise me if at some point we see this card going at around 2 mil. So that's another player which, if you guys have a lot of coins, then this may be an option. In terms of Havertz and Sissoko, for me is very, very overpriced. But in terms of the other players, I just don't think it is that much of a good investment. Now, last thing before we end the video is today's SBC, which we got. If you guys have any ways of linking that player, I do think he is insane. And the reason being is that always you judge a player with the value, right? With what EA is asking you in return. In return, they're asking you for an 84 rated squad and an 85 rated squad. Now, they are a bit inflated at the moment, the 85s. But even then, this SBC costs you 120k. The packs back are garbage, but this we're pretty much used to by now. FIFA 20 has given you garbage packs in return every single SBC, and if they're good packs, it's going to be untradeable. So let's not talk about the packs back, but 84, 85 rated squads for a guy with these type of stats, for me, if you use your fullbacks as more of a support for your attack, then this guy is your man. Because I've been using Cancelo with the 5-star skill moves, and trust me guys, having 5 stars on your fullbacks makes a world of a difference. And the reason being, I was able to surprise my opponent so many times because he's not used to seeing a 5-star skillers when it comes to fullbacks, and you're able to do so much more. And it's just so fluid playing with those guys. Once again, 88 agility, 90 balance. You can't ask for much more. If you put the proper chem style, which would be an anchor in my opinion, even his defending will get boosted pretty well. It will give him aggression, strength boost, which is very good as well. He has good pace, very good finishing as well, and having a 5-star weak foot with high medium work rates, which of course you would prefer a high work rates, but high medium, even Mendy is high medium, Ferland Mendy. And a lot of people have been using him, including me, with no problems at all. As long as they have the agility and the pace, they will always track back. So there is that as well. In terms of the overall market, I would not expect that much of a rise, but neither would I expect a sell-off. I do think the market is stale at the moment. The weekend league is extended, so this is why we won't get a sell-off today. But I do expect a lot of cards to start dropping starting tomorrow. But we'll have a video tomorrow to discuss about that, depending on the content that we get. And last thing, I do know at the moment the 85 rated SBC fodders are very expensive, but I do think 85 plus, it is getting time to buy them once again. Do look for any sort of, now do not go ahead and buy Neto, for example, at 13k. I do think it's quite expensive, but I do think if you see any sort of pullback in those cards, maybe a Neto going at around 10k, and 86s, 87s, and basically 85 pluses, do start investing in them. I do think at some point we're going to get a good SBC and those cards will start rising once again. So that was pretty much it for today. If you guys appreciated the content, then please do give a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next one. Bye.